looks like a meteor streaking across the sky before crashing into the ocean nearby. The captain immediately assumes it might be a distress signal. Maybe a ship is in trouble. Wanting to investigate, they steer their boat toward the location. As one of the crew members moves closer to take a look, something suddenly emerges from beneath the water and yanks him out of sight. The captain rushes over to help. Before he can process what he's seeing, the same unseen force drags him into the water as well. The captain's son realizes something is wrong. Grabbing an axe, he steps outside to investigate, but he too is suddenly attacked by something hidden in the darkness. The story then shifts to another small island community, where we meet a local police officer named Ashore. He's known around town for one thing, above all else, drinking. Most people have gotten used to seeing him with alcohol in his system. A new officer named Lisa has just arrived on temporary transfer. Lisa meets the department chief. He welcomes her and explains that he'll be leaving the island for work-related reasons and needs someone reliable to help manage things while he's gone. Not long afterward, at the island harbor, two fishermen are busy sorting through their catch when one of them pulls up something extremely strange from the water. It's unlike anything either of them has ever seen. When his partner leans in for a closer look, the creature spits a stream of liquid toward him. The fisherman becomes convinced he's found a rare animal worth a fortune. Excited by the possibility, he takes the creature home and places it in his bathtub, filling it with water so it can stay alive until he figures out what to do with it. Meanwhile, along the shoreline, several locals discover a dead whale washed up on the beach. The situation immediately draws attention. O'Shea and Lisa arrive to investigate, where they find a doctor already examining the carcass. After inspecting it, the doctor explains that the whale has been dead for quite some time. The marks on its body appear to be the result of collisions with rocks. Still, something doesn't sit right with O'Shea. He's lived on this island for years, and he's never seen anything like this before. Later, O'Shea asks a construction worker with a large crane machine to remove the whale from the beach. The worker gathers his crew and gets the job done, without much trouble. Eventually, everyone leaves, believing the job is finished. However, some equipment gets left behind. The foreman sends one of his workers back to retrieve it. As the worker walks across the shoreline, he notices something unusual scattered nearby. Eggs. Strange eggs. Before he can investigate further, or return with the equipment, something from the ocean suddenly snatches him away. Moments later, the foreman goes looking for his missing co-worker, but the beach is empty. That evening, the story moves to the hotel where Lisa is staying. Attached to it is a small bar run by a husband and wife couple. It's also O'Shea's favorite place to spend his evenings. The fisherman who discovered the strange creature arrives and excitedly tells O'Shea that he's found something incredibly valuable. According to him, the creature could make him rich. But O'Shea doesn't believe a word of it. Since he's been drinking himself, he assumes the fisherman has been doing the same. Later that night, another fisherman, the partner of the man who found the creature, is relaxing at home when someone appears outside his door. When he steps outside to investigate, he sees what looks like a person suspended in a very unnatural position. As he cautiously approaches, an unseen force suddenly pulls him upward and out of sight. His wife witnesses everything. Terrified, she rushes back inside and locks the door. For a brief moment, she catches a glimpse of whatever took her husband. Her eyes eventually drift toward the chimney. A frightening thought crosses her mind. What if it can get in that way too? Before she can block it off, the creature reaches her through the chimney and pulls her away as well. At the same time, the fisherman who brought the creature home checks his bathtub. The creature is gone. All that's left behind is a single egg. Concerned, he follows a trail of strange slime, leading into another room. That's when he sees it. The creature is clinging to the wall. It has long tentacles and resembles something between an octopus and a nightmare. The creature lunges at him. A struggle follows, but somehow the fisherman manages to fight it off and kill it. The next morning, Lisa casually asks one of the women working at the bar about O'Shea. She's curious. In fact, she's starting to like him. Trying not to make it obvious, she asks whether he has a wife. The woman laughs and tells her no. O'Shea lives alone. Not long afterward, the fisherman contacts both Lisa and O'Shea and asks them to come immediately. The creature he killed has been brought to a laboratory for examination. Once there, the doctor studies it carefully and admits he's never seen anything remotely similar before. Whatever this thing is, it's dangerous. He gives the creature a name, Grabber. The doctor then reveals several disturbing discoveries. The creature possesses an extremely long tongue-like feeding organ, and it appears to survive primarily on water and blood. He also shows them the egg found at the fisherman's house. At that moment, multiple incidents begin connecting in O'Shea's mind. O'Shea and Lisa heading straight to the shoreline, where the construction worker's truck is still sitting exactly where it was left. That immediately raises a red flag. O'Shea knows the man would never abandon his vehicle without a reason. Nearby stands a small house, so the two officers decide to investigate. Their search eventually leads them onto the roof, and that's where Lisa finds a horrifying clue. The remains of the missing fisherman. Now convinced that a dangerous predator is behind the disappearances, they transport the evidence to the laboratory for analysis. Unfortunately, the doctor can't identify exactly what attacked him. What he can say is simple. Whatever did this was definitely not normal. A short time later, the fisherman who originally discovered the creature takes O'Shea and Lisa back to his house. When they arrive, the scene tells its own story. The bathtub is outside. A massive hole has been torn through the wall. The egg left behind by the smaller creature has already hatched and grown into something much larger. Lisa now connects another important detail. She believes the attacks from the previous night were caused by these creatures. Since they need moisture to survive, the heavy rain would have allowed them to travel across land and reach nearby homes. The fisherman then reveals something even more important. He believes he knows where the queen creature is hiding, the one laying all the eggs. He leads them to a cave, but refuses to go inside himself. So, O'Shea and Lisa enter alone. Deep inside, they discover clothing belonging to one of the fishermen from the opening scene of the movie. Unfortunately, their search wakes something up. A grabber emerges and immediately moves toward them. The officers waste no time and run for the exit. Luckily, the creature refuses to leave the cave. Soon, they realize why. Grabbers cannot tolerate direct sunlight. For the moment, daylight is the only thing keeping the island safe. Back at the laboratory, O'Shea and Lisa begin searching for a way to kill the creatures. They start testing weaknesses. One experiment involves exposing a captured grabber to fire. For a moment, it seems to work. Then water accidentally reaches the creature. Instantly, it becomes active again. Before anyone can react, it spits its strange liquid directly at O'Shea and latches onto his head. The situation turns chaotic, but he eventually manages to pull the creature off. Watching all of this is the fisherman who first discovered the grabber, and suddenly he remembers something important. He explains that when the creature attacked him earlier, it bit him, but quickly became weak afterward. At the time, he had been drinking heavily. That detail changes everything. Alcohol is toxic to the grabbers. Anyone with enough alcohol in their bloodstream becomes practically untouchable to them. At the same time, another problem is approaching. A powerful storm is expected to hit the island that very night. Rain. The exact condition these creatures need. Knowing they have very little time left, they meet with the local bar owner and explain that everyone on the island is in danger. The only way to protect people is to make sure as many residents as possible consume alcohol before the storm arrives. But they can't tell anyone the real reason. If panic spreads, everything could fall apart. The bar owner agrees to help. To verify their theory, they perform one final test. Lisa admits she's never consumed alcohol before, but under the circumstances, she reluctantly agrees. Afterward, they take a blood sample and expose it to a captured baby grabber. The result is immediate. The creature dies. Now they know for certain. They've finally discovered the creature's weakness. With time running out, O'Shea and Lisa head to the local church and encourage everyone to gather at the bar. The promise of free drinks is enough to bring almost the entire community together. While everyone enjoys themselves, O'Shea and Lisa quietly prepare for war. Anything that can be used as a weapon is collected. Inside the bar, the residents continue enjoying the evening. Then, everything changes. One man steps outside during the storm. The heavy rain has already begun, and with it come dozens of small grabbers moving through the water. The creatures swarm him. Seeing the attack, O'Shea and Lisa rush forward to help. But before they can reach him, a fully grown grabber emerges from the darkness and drags him away. The nightmare they feared has officially begun. O'Shea and Lisa retreat toward their vehicle. In the confusion, Lisa accidentally activates the police siren. The loud noise immediately attracts the giant grabber. Now, it has a target. The creature climbs onto the vehicle and starts tearing into it. Realizing they can't stay there, O'Shea and Lisa abandon the car and sprint back to the bar. Inside, the bar owner reveals they're almost out of alcohol. O'Shea orders everyone upstairs immediately. Nobody understands what's happening. Panic spreads through the building. Residents rush upstairs, desperately trying to stay safe. O'Shea reassures everyone that the alcohol is protecting them and that the creatures won't target those who have consumed enough of it. But then he realizes something. He's the biggest risk in the room. Unlike everyone else, O'Shea hasn't been drinking, which means the giant grabber is specifically hunting him. Not wanting to endanger anyone, he decides to leave. That's when Lisa comes up with one final plan. She reminds him that the creatures can't survive sunlight. Earlier, she noticed a large crane machine at a nearby construction site. If they can trap the giant grabber until sunrise, the sunlight should destroy it, along with any remaining eggs. O'Shea loves the idea. There's only one problem. His car keys are downstairs, surrounded by danger. Without hesitation, Lisa volunteers to retrieve them. The lower floor is crawling with baby grabbers, but somehow she succeeds and returns safely. Together, they race toward the construction site. Upon arriving, O'Shea spots several fuel barrels nearby. He decides to use himself as bait. Calling the creature toward him, he prepares to ignite the fuel when it gets close enough. But the plan almost fails. The grabber lashes out with a tentacle and knocks him to the ground. As the creature closes in, Lisa takes action. Using the crane, she drops heavy machinery directly onto the monster. The giant grabber becomes trapped beneath it. Lisa helps O'Shea back to his feet. Then, in a rare moment of relief, she opens a bottle of alcohol. But the battle isn't over over yet. A surviving tentacle suddenly shoots out and grabs O'Shea. Without wasting a second, he throws the alcohol directly at the grabber. The creature immediately recoils and releases him. That's the opening they need. Lisa grabs a flare gun and fires it into the nearby fuel tanks. An enormous explosion lights up the night sky. The trapped grabber is caught in the blast. Morning arrives, and with the sunrise comes peace. Later, O'Shea and Lisa return home. They find